I grew up in Cambridge. I lived there for almost 17 years, and then we moved to Arlington. Our lives were centered around our church. It was a very tight community in the Greek community, and in my house and most of the houses then, education was very primary. I mean, you did not stop with high school if your marks were good. And my parents worked very hard for me to go on. And I started law school in 50 and I ended up at 53. I was about maybe 3 or 4 women in the class, but you know, I never felt belittled or anything. It was a lot of respect that we were there. They really respected us. And all these men were gentlemen, and they were the finest people I've ever been to school with. For instance, James Lawton, who ended up being such a great judge, he was like that from day one. You walk in and there was a gorgeous foyer. There was classrooms all the way down in the first floor for psychology, English, regular subject matters of college, and business law. And then upstairs you would go up, and then the law school would start. And that went on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And on the 4th floor was the library. Portia Law School had a very special feeling. You were cared for. I felt like I was part of a family there. Everybody cared. Between the dean, the professors, even the secretaries were part of your life. That's what it was like being at Portia. I went in the morning. There was 4 classes until 1, 2 o'clock. And if you had to make up a class, you stayed until 4. One of my greatest mentors at law school was Francis X. Ahearn. Being a freshman in law school and not knowing which direction to go, he guided me. He taught me how to study. And he also got me the job at Social Law Library. He says, that'll give you a chance to study and be near the books. And I worked from 4 till 10 every night. So I did my homework there. And I worked Saturdays from 9 to 1. And I did that straight through law school. That was my job. I did not take the bar exam for many reasons. That was a big mistake. I should have done it right away, right after law school. But I was really burnt out. I never had a day off. I just went right from school to work, school to work, school to work. And that was just too much. And I couldn't do it. And then I got married, and then I got the children, and then I never went back. In 1969, I went back to social law. I got to know the library quite well, and then sometimes I would go to law firms. They weren't Hale and Dorr, they weren't Ropes and Gray. They weren't Bingham Dana. I mean, we're talking, maybe 30 people in the firm, maybe 12, maybe 3. And I would walk in and I would see all this filing on the floor, unopened. I would see books on the cot making no sense. I knew they needed help. So I said, someday I'm going to offer a filing service. So about 1986, down the Cape, around the dining room table, we picked a name, Accufile, and we thought that was a good name. It was a new concept in Boston, because Boston doesn't like to pay for extra stuff. Anyway, I decided I'd incorporate, put a telephone in my cellar with a desk. Then somebody called Social Law and wanted to know if there was a filing service here. A big law firm from Chicago came in town. Then it was Quinn and Morris. Mr. Robert Quinn, the former Attorney General. We started with 1 woman and did about 3 clients a day, put together libraries, labeled them. We did all their ordering, we did all their updating, and it made sense. And we saved money. They saved a lot of money. And now we have about 250 clients. New Hampshire, Worcester County, Rhode Island. We have about 60 people on the staff, and we're growing. My business wouldn't exist without my education at law school. I couldn't have done this.